Most self-improvement advice tells you to change everything at once. New diet, new routine, new mindset, new you, starting Monday. And it lasts about a week. Marcus Aurelius tried something different. He didn't reinvent his life in one dramatic moment. He reinvented it every single day. Through 8 simple practices, he did them for 19 years, while running the most powerful empire on earth. Through war, plague, and personal loss that would have broken most people. Here is what they were. Practice 1. Start before you're ready. Marcus Aurelius wrote it to himself every single morning. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. Not when he felt ready, not when motivation showed up. Every day, regardless of how he felt. Here is what most people get wrong about reinventing their life. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the right moment, the right energy, the right circumstances. And while they wait, the days pass, the weeks pass. The version of themselves they wanted to become stays exactly where it is. In the future, always in the future. Marcus Aurelius understood that the feeling of readiness never comes first. Action comes first. The feeling follows. He didn't get up because he felt like an emperor. He got up because it was time, because the work was there, because being alive meant showing up for it. You do not need to feel ready to start. You just need to start. Whatever you have been waiting to begin, the business, the routine, the hard conversation, the change you keep postponing, start it before you feel ready. That is the whole practice, and it is harder than it sounds. But here is what makes it easier. Practice 2 is what you do before you even get out of bed. Practice 2. Write to yourself honestly. Marcus Aurelius kept a private journal. He called it To Myself. Nobody was ever supposed to read it. It wasn't a diary. It wasn't a gratitude log. It wasn't a list of affirmations. It was raw, honest reflection. Marcus writing to himself about where he fell short, what he was struggling with, what he kept getting wrong, what he needed to remember. He wrote things like, "You have been doing this for years. When are you going to change?" That's not the kind of thing most people write. Most people journal to feel good about themselves. Marcus journaled to see himself clearly, and that is the difference. Writing honestly to yourself, not to perform, not to feel better, just to see what is actually true, is one of the most powerful practices a person can build. Because most people go through life never fully examining it. They feel things without naming them. They repeat patterns without seeing them. They know something is wrong without ever sitting down and writing out what exactly it is and why. The journal forces you to do that work. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be eloquent. It just has to be honest. 5 minutes, a few lines, just true. That private conversation with yourself, done consistently, changes how clearly you see your own life. And that clarity is the foundation of everything else. Speaking of which, practice 3 is something Marcus did every single morning that most people would find strange. Practice 3. Prepare for the worst before it arrives. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius wrote something that sounds deeply pessimistic on the surface. He reminded himself that the people he would deal with today would be difficult, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest. Not because he was cynical, because he was strategic. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, premeditation of difficulty. Every morning before the day started, Marcus would sit quietly and mentally rehearse what could go wrong. The difficult conversation, the frustrating person, the plan that might fall apart, the news that might arrive. He went through it in his mind before it happened in his life. Here is why this works. When something difficult catches you completely off guard, your brain treats it as a threat. Stress spikes, thinking narrows, reactions become automatic. But when you have already imagined the difficulty, when you have already been there in your mind and decided how you will respond, it lands differently. The stress is lower, the thinking is clearer, the response is more deliberate. You have already been through it. You already know what to do. 5 minutes every morning. What might be hard today? How will I respond when it is? That small practice changes how you move through difficulty for the rest of your life. But preparing for the day is only half of it. Practice 4 is about what you actually do once the day begins. Practice 4. Do the essential thing completely. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less." Or more accurately, do what is essential, do less better. Most people trying to reinvent their lives do the opposite. They add more habits, more tasks, more goals, more systems, more complexity, until the whole thing collapses under its own weight. Marcus understood that reinvention is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things with complete attention. Think about your average day. How much of what you do is genuinely essential? How much is noise disguised as productivity? Meetings that go nowhere, tasks that don't move anything forward, distractions that feel like work but aren't. Marcus was running an empire. He could have been pulled in 1,000 directions, and yet he wrote about simplicity, about doing less, about the power of complete focus on what actually matters. One thing at a time. Full attention, no splitting, no multitasking, no half-presence. The person who does 3 things completely will always outperform the person who does 10 things poorly. Pick what is essential today. Do it completely. Let the rest wait. And if you want the energy to do that consistently, practice 5 is what builds it. Practice 5. Choose discomfort deliberately. Marcus Aurelius rose before dawn, slept simply, ate plainly, not because he had to. He was emperor. He could have had anything. He chose discomfort deliberately because he understood something most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Comfort makes you weak. Not occasional comfort, constant comfort, the kind that removes every difficulty from your day before you have even started. The snooze button, the easy food, the avoided conversation, the skipped workout, the path of least resistance chosen again and again until it becomes the only path you know. Every time you choose comfort when discipline is required, you are training yourself that comfort is the standard. That hard things are things to escape. And when real difficulty arrives, which it always does, you have nothing to draw on. Marcus built his capacity for difficulty deliberately, by choosing it before it was forced on him. One hard thing every day before anything comfortable begins. Cold water. The difficult task first. The workout before the reward. The conversation you have been avoiding. Not because suffering is good, because the person who has chosen discomfort voluntarily every day is a completely different person when discomfort arrives involuntarily. They have been here before. They chose to be here, and they know what to do. Practice 6. Review the day before you sleep. Every night, Marcus Aurelius stopped. Before he slept, he reviewed the day. Not to celebrate the wins, not to punish himself for the failures, to calibrate. He asked himself 3 things. Where did I fall short of who I want to be today? Where did I show up the way I intended? What will I do differently tomorrow? 3 questions, 5 minutes, every night. This is the practice that made Marcus Aurelius better every single day for 19 years. Because most people move through life without ever examining it. They make the same mistakes in year 5 that they made in year 1. Not because they are incapable of change, because they never built the habit of honest self-examination. The evening review closes the loop. It catches the drift before it becomes a direction. It keeps you honest with yourself when nobody else is watching. You do not need a system. You do not need an app. You just need 3 honest questions before you sleep. Where did I fall short? Where did I show up? What will I do differently tomorrow? That is enough. Done every night, it is more than enough. Practice 7. Let go of what you cannot control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He faced things most people never will. A plague killing millions of his citizens, wars on multiple frontiers, betrayal from people he trusted, the deaths of children, the slow collapse of everything he had tried to build. And he could not control a single one of those things. What he could control was how he responded, what he thought about, how he showed up, whether he kept going. Most people spend the majority of their mental energy on things they cannot change. The economy, other people's behavior, the past, what might happen, what other people think. That energy is not just wasted. It actively makes you worse at handling the things you can actually change. Marcus trained himself every day to identify the line. This is within my control. This is not. Everything within it, his full attention and effort. Everything outside it, complete acceptance and release. Not passive, not resigned, just clear about where the real work actually lives. Your response, your effort, your values, your next move. That is your domain. Everything else is noise. Practice 8. Be strict with yourself. This is the practice that holds everything else together. Marcus Aurelius held himself to a standard nobody else could see or enforce. No boss was watching. No consequences if he let himself slip. No reward for keeping the standard. Just a private commitment to be the person he had decided to be. Every night, every morning, every decision. Most people only perform when someone is watching. They show up when there are consequences. They keep the standard when there is a reward. Marcus performed for no audience. He kept the standard when nobody was watching. He did the work when there was nothing to gain from it externally. That is not discipline. That is character, and it is built in private. The person who does the right thing only when someone is watching will never become who they want to be. Because most of life happens when nobody is watching. The person who holds themselves to the standard in private, who does the work, keeps the commitment, shows up with integrity when there is no external reason to, that person cannot be stopped. Start with practice 1 tomorrow morning, before you feel ready. Add 1 more practice each week. In 8 weeks, you will be living differently. Not because you changed everything at once, because you changed one thing at a time. Consistently, in private, the way Marcus Aurelius did it. So here is what I want you to do right now. Pick one of these 8 practices, just one. The one that your gut tells you would change things the most. Write it down. Start it tomorrow. Drop in the comments which one you picked. And if these ideas are building something in you, subscribe to 5 Ideas Daily. This video is for educational and motivational purposes only.